I'm going to show you, give you a little tour of our vegetable garden this year. We built it last year, but this year we really put a lot of finishing touches. Like we finished off the porch. This is the southern porch to my house. This is the entrance to, I would say, the lowest level of the house. So I walk right across my porch, and it's all screened in. And the vegetable garden is in two sections. This is the first section I'm going to show you. Here I have my herbs. If they don't look like much right now, it's because I just cut them to dry some of them. And they'll grow some more throughout the summer, but I cut the first amount. I put in lots of pretty flower pots, hanging flower pots. Some are staked in the ground and some just hang from the beams above. And then I put some into window boxes and set them on the ledge. This is a raised bed, and I've been playing around every year trying to decide where's the best place to grow what. Like I decided I don't like my herbs there, so I'm not going to put herbs there. And this year I put my beans here because last year they were in the garden I'm going to show you next. And what happened was I was constantly crawling on my hands and knees to find the beans every day. But now look how easily I can access the beans. So like tomorrow when I come out, you know, I don't have to bend over or anything. They're just right there. And I love how they just cascade over the edge of the top garden bed. And I think next year I'm going to plant all the beans right in the front and do that. This year I planted some my broccoli and my cauliflower in the front because, as you all know, cauliflower tends to, and broccoli, are very bugs love them. And they put these big holes in them, and so you got to check the leaves every single day. Just turn them over and check for the caterpillars. And so I thought this was a good idea to put them right here, but I think next year they'll go right in the, more like one row over, and they'll have a row of beans over, and I can still reach over. This year I did two different types of kale, the blue kale and the green kale. The green kale was grown from seed, and for whatever reason it did not grow well this year. Last year it was fabulous. But that's okay, because I got more kale than I could possibly use anyway, since I'm the only person in my family that eats kale. The spinach is almost done, but I've got plenty of this type of lettuce left. And I've been coming out here every day, filling a colander with lettuce, taking it in the house and making a fresh salad. On this side, I put potatoes. I don't think I'm going to put potatoes in here next year, because we need this space. And animals don't bother potatoes. So we're going to probably go over on another bed with more potatoes on the other side of the fence. I had peas growing up the trellis, but they are done now. I need to pretty much rip those out and replant them, because you can do peas twice in one season. And this year I ended up with so many pickles from last year, because I had 3 cucumber plants last year. This year I only planted 1. This is 1 cucumber plant. This whole corner is 1. And I just harvested 3 cucumbers from 1 plant today. And obviously it loves that spot. I like it there. I'll probably put it there next year too. It seems to love the spot, and it's kind of hard to get back and then pick the cucumbers, you know, but that's okay. And in the back row are carrots. You can go way back against the screen. And that's a perfect spot to put the carrots, because I won't touch them till fall. I don't need to get at them for anything all summer long, so the very back row is a good spot. Well, let's go into the other garden now, shall we? We have to go back up the path and across the screen porch to get to the next one. I keep the screen doors closed all summer so that the porch stays bug-free and I can enjoy sitting out here. I think Jackson might be stuck out there. No. And this is what I call my Feed Me Seymour garden, if you've ever seen that play. You remember the name of the play? I don't remember. Little Shop of Horrors, yes. This garden is where I grow the big stuff. I've got banana pepper plants growing, and you can tell they look just beautiful. I've been picking a lot. Every day I come and pick out one and throw it in my salad. And then I've got jalapeno peppers here. And then the rest, all those vines you can tell, see like this vine right here, would you believe that's a butternut squash vine? And that is from the far corner of the fence. That's how far it grew. 24 feet long. I have never, so what happened was, it actually took over the whole garden. I had peppers all the way along front, and I think they might do okay because squash, if you've ever grown it, it starts to yellow and the leaves die back. And these are, like, here's a pepper plant. I don't have any peppers on this one because it's gotten suffocated, but some of them do have flowers, and so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that when the squash leaves die back, I'll still get peppers, but I doubt it, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'll show you, I've got 4 different kinds of squash. I've got spaghetti squash, buttercup, butternut, and acorn. My favorite thing about growing squash is you just put it in a cool room, and it is good all winter. I ate my last squash in February. It was when we finished our last squash from the garden. Now this year I'm going to have twice as much. I'm going to bring the camera in. You can see here's beginnings of a butternut. Not butternut, buttercup, I think that one is. And there's another one right here. That one's a little bigger. I mean, they're just filled. I've also got zucchini and yellow squash. If you go zoom in back there, you see all those dead leaves. That's what squash does. About the end, starting at the beginning of the end of summer, and then it kind of like they die back so that the squash can just be left on the ground to ripen by the sun. And if you can see on the fence, I've got spaghetti squash growing. I do not purposefully grow them up the trellis. They just do that on their own, and they do ripen on the trellis. They don't break off the vine. And it's really nice because it gives us more space. But the last thing I want to show you is my tomatoes, which I'm extraordinarily proud of. Last year I just did the typical tomato cages and staking, and the tomatoes grew all over the place. You couldn't even walk down the sidewalk because the branches were just falling over. No matter how many times I staked them, they fell over. And then I saw in another woman's blog that she trellised her tomatoes. And so believe it or not, these are probably maybe 5 or 6 tomato plants. But they're growing nice and flat to the trellis. And as they grow, I just keep tying the branches to the trellis. I'm 5'7". I don't know, how tall is this? This fence is 8 feet tall, so they just keep growing taller. This fence is super strong, so they're holding up wonderfully. The best thing is it's a huge space saver, because tomatoes, at least the kind when I grow tomatoes, they take up a lot of space in my garden. My tomato bushes grow huge for me all the time. And you're probably going to wonder what fertilizers I use. I organically garden my vegetable garden. I use a Berkeley organic fertilizer, and then we amend the soil with peat moss, wood ash, sawdust, cocoa bean mulch. Am I missing anything? Oh, leaves from the grass when they fall off the trees. But now when these ripen, I've picked a few already, but look how easy it's going to be for me to harvest these. Look at this. It's going to be so simple. It's like last year I was literally crawling on my hands and knees every day to harvest the tomatoes, and it was not a nice experience. And this year it's going to be so easy to just walk over there and grab them. And they grow on the other side of the fence too. So I can't recommend enough to throw away the tomato cages, throw away the stakes, get a nice sturdy fence. Is that like a, what kind of fence is it?
Welded wire.
Welding wire? Welded wire. And my husband just, you know, he bought it at a home improvement store, and then he made the frames, and I think he just stapled them to the frame. So you can ask me in the comments for more details, and I can fill you in. But oh, I will never go back to the traditional way of growing and staking tomatoes again. I'm going to do this forever and ever, and they apparently love it. They absolutely love it that way. I think they get good air circulation. I've seen no bugs whatsoever on them, and it appears like I'm going to have a great harvest this year. But anyway, thank you for watching my little video. Again, if you have any questions, just ask me, and hopefully I'll be able to answer you. Bye.